Happy Christmas, gamers. Oh my goodness, hello. It's Merry Holidays. We did it. We're here. Oh my goodness. Hi, guys. Many people around these winter holidays, they all snuggle up together on the couch. They're like, ooh, how do? With their hot cocoa and their loved ones if they got them. And they usually sit down to watch their Christmas movie of choice. Some choose Elf, which I'm not gonna comment on, but it's some choose The Muppets Christmas Carol. Some people sit down on not one night, but every night, and they watch the Hallmark Countdown to Christmas. Isn't that fun? They're watching the same movie 24 times. They watch the same movie 24 times. I personally, for the past ever so many years, haven't had this tradition. I just exist during Christmas time and watch whatever my mom's watching, which is usually that Hallmark thing. Or at least I didn't think I did. I do have a Christmas movie, but it's not just one Christmas movie. It's not 25 Christmas movies. It's about 8. Have you heard of them? They're called the Harry Potter franchise. Every season, I didn't realize I did this, but I do. And I have for the past ever. And you know why? That's right, they're Christmas movies. Oh, you thought I was just watching random movies during Christmas. No, they're Christmas movies. They're all year movies. Every time. They're taking place over the whole time. The whole 2 semesters, if you will. Except for those last 2. They don't really count. In the first Harry Potter movie, they even sit down and they do Christmas. Ron gets a sweater. Harry gets a cloak of invisibility. Where'd he go? That we don't know. The cloak is there. It hides him. After that plethora of evidence, you can't deny their Christmassiness. They're Christmas movies. I don't care what you say. This whole talk of Christmas and Harry Potter gets me to the point of what I wanted to talk about today. Prisoner of Azkaban is the best Harry Potter movie. Fight me. Spoiler alert for the whole series. I'm going to be talking and breaking down Prisoner of Azkaban. I might reference the other movies along the way. You saw me do it already. But I'm going to be talking about them. I'm going to break down the movie itself, and then I'm going to go to the VFX, talk about the director and how awesome he is, and then maybe I'll get to, I'll sum it up. It'll be great. You'll love it. But we start with the start of the movie. Lumos Maxima. Lumos Maxima. Lumos Maxima. It's pretty cool. You should watch it. And then we get into the first epic shot of the day. We start off the movie and we realize that Alfonso Cuarón is now directing these movies. If you didn't know who he is, he's won 2 Oscars. You should know who he is. He produces on movies that Guillermo del Toro makes, like Pan's Labyrinth. You want to hear me talk about Pan's Labyrinth? I left a code in there. You can watch the movie with me. It'll be so fun. Anyways, Alfonso took over the directing for this movie, and Chris Columbus, who directed the first 2 movies, he sat back into the producer seat for this movie, and Alfonso Cuarón took the lead, and he's awesome, and he's great. Like the first scene of this movie. We start off on this handheld camera. Go watch the first 2 movies. They're all static cams. They're all we'll zoom in, we'll pan over at the most. But they're not this handheld walking camera that we get at the start of this film. It's so, it sets the tone already, what Alfonso's going to do with this. It's amazing. Then we get into the first VFX masterpiece. I'll talk about it later. But basically, Harry gets angry. He makes Marge fat. She flies away. Crazy way to start the movie. Great opener. Also, in this scene, we get some lines directly from the book, which I read for this video earlier this week. Which is great because you get a movie that feels very intertwined with its source material. And it's always nice to know. To me, these are some of the best adaptations from book to movie that there is. It's just so good. Then, after he makes Marge float away, we get not only the first sight of the dog or the Grimm, whatever you want to call it, but we get the next set piece for a top 10 Lego set. That's right, the night bus. We brought it in, boys. It's the night bus. This night bus set piece, or like the whole thing of the night bus, is one of the first things in this movie that like just sets the tone that we're in a different Harry Potter world where we've gotten far enough into it that we don't really need to explain anything anymore. It's just happening. Now the night bus is just here. We haven't heard about it before, and we're really not going to hear about it like after. But it just like the night bus exists. He held out his wand. He lumosed. It's happening now. The night bus is real. The bus drops him off at the Leaky Cauldron in London. If you don't remember that place, it's the place where Hagrid tapped his wand. Like, he did all that stuff. Hagrid went bing bong boom bop. It's the same building. There, the Minister of Magic talks to him about Marge and his books and mentions Azkaban and Sirius. Whoa, we talked about Sirius earlier. He's on the run for murder. Whoa, that's crazy. He gets his Monster Book of Monsters, one of his textbooks for the year, and it's crazy and it's cool and a fun way to introduce a new item into the universe. Then after that, Harry goes downstairs on the next day and sees Ron and Hermione arguing about Crookshanks and Scabbers, the first instance of this, and it really sets up what happens a lot in the book where they're arguing, and happens a lot in this movie where we're set off. Something's wrong with Scabbers. Why does Crookshanks keep chasing him? You know? Why does he keep doing that? And then we end the Leaky Cauldron with the one-shot. This one-shot is beautiful. It's Arthur just talking to Harry. And we get to see the Boomerang Sirius Black, you know, that newspaper. And we get a good setup for Arthur Weasley or Harry Potter and how Sirius is connected to him. And the main, like, thrust of this film, Sirius Black wants Harry Potter. After the Leaky Cauldron, it's time to go to school. So we've talked to Arthur. Now we're sitting in the Hogwarts Express. Ooh, bum, 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 bum. Ooh, look, our new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, Remus Lupin's here. How do you know that name? Oh, shut up. Then, great scene. Windows. Cold. Moment. Boom. Dementor enters the scene. He's slow. He's cold because he doesn't need to go fast because he's awesome. I'll talk about him later. Guess what he does? Sucks your soul away. Oops, Harry got a little bit touched, you know. Guess who's going to save the day? Lupin. Ooh, that's how you introduce a villain. It's kind of a villain. Boom. Look at that. Wasn't that cool? After Harry hears his mom yell and gets some chocolate in his system, we're at Hogwarts. And guess who's here? Michael Gambon. We got a new Dumbledore on set. Richard Harris was the actor for Dumbledore in the first two movies, and he passed away. So Michael Gambon took over for the rest of the films. And he does a great job. They both play Dumbledore so well. Like, you don't even notice that the actor changes. It's great. We get some setup for our painting, the fat lady, Fortuna Major, that girl. We see Hermione playing with some necklace thing she's got on and dissing on divination class, which, like, me too, gang, stand up. And now we leave Trelawney to go to the goat of cinema, Buckbeak. Woo, give it up for Buckbeak, yeah, Buckbeak, woo. The behind the scenes for Buckbeak, which I'll show later, really cool, how they made him and everything. Because he's not like a real creature, he's a hippogriff. So this hippogriff is plot C that we're setting up for later, but we get a great scene right now where Harry bows, you know, we get a little bow from Harry. We get a little bow from Harry and Buckbeak, they're friends now. Hermione makes little funny haha necklace moments. And Malfoy gets owned by Buckbeak, the goat. This might come back to bite us later. Who knows? Then we hop over to the Boggart scene, which, once again, great VFX shot. I'll talk about it later. But this scene sets up not only Harry's fear, but, ooh, what's Lupin looking at? Huh, is that the moon? Bum, bum, bum. Then Harry gets left behind because Ron and Hermione got to go party in Hogsmeade without him because gang get told. But when they come back, the fat lady ran away. Oh no, what happened? Let's talk to her. Sirius Black is here. Everyone be scared. Then, next, Snape's dreams come true, and he gets to teach Defense Against the Dark Arts. Praise the Lord. And what does he do? Because Lupin's out sick, he changes the lesson plan. Let's talk about werewolves real quick. Why did he change the lesson plan? Why did he assign an essay? Maybe Snape knows more than we think. Then we get our first scene of Quidditch in the movie, which there's not a lot of. But there is a lot of in the book. Like, if you read the book, there's like 3, maybe 4 chapters just about Quidditch out of like a 22-chapter book. And in the movies, they're just pushed down. Like, we don't need the screen time for Quidditch. Like, in this Quidditch scene, we do get important movie moments where Harry sees the Grim, or a dog, whatever you want to call it, in the sky, gets uh-oh'd, and he's like, huh, I'm scared. And then, boom, Dementors on campus. They shouldn't be there. Guess what they're going to do? Eat Harry. But guess what? Harry falls, and Dumbledore saves him. Arresto momentum. That whole thing. Harry wakes up in the hospital. What happened? What happened was Harry's broomstick got nay-nayed on, and Harry now knows that because he leads such a sad life, that's why the Dementors love him. When your parents die. Then the Christmas season rolls around. Woo, it's winter. This is a Christmas movie. Yes, snow. We love snow. We love snow. Then Harry decides he wants to go to Hogsmeade. How is he going to do that? Invisibility cloak. Surprise. He's going to do it by the Marauders map, gifted by the Ginger twins. And it was made by some 4 randos, whoever they may be. We don't know. Then Harry plays a few pranks on Malfoy and friends, and then meets up with his friends who are staring at the shrieking shack. Oh, I wonder what that's at. I wonder what's going on in there. I wonder why it's shrieking. I wonder who can make something shriek. Then Harry uses his invisibility cloak again to spy on some fools who are gossiping about him. Checks out the hot tea. He's like, what? Sirius Black is trying to kill me, and he's my godfather, and he betrayed my parents? I'm going to kill that fool. I'm going to kill that fool. Watch me kill that fool. Betrayal's a nasty thing. Now it's time for Lupin to train this fool, like he promised a little bit ago. With a boggart and a happy memory by his side, he learns Expecto Patronum, and now he has the charm that can defeat a Dementor. This might come back later. Then we get some sad Buckbeak news. Oh, he's gonna die. And some bare Hagrid legs. Look at that, I'm gonna die. Then Harry gets to work playing with his Marauders map. Turns out it knows a little more than the public does. While he's playing with it, when he sees some Peter Pettigrew, what the heck is he doing? I thought he was dead. Snape runs into him. Snape confiscates it. He gets pranked. Lupin comes, saves the day. Ooh, is that Moony? I don't know. I think Lupin's confused. How's a dead person rail? Then Hermione brings the sass in Trelawney's class, dips out of there, drops a crystal ball. Harry brings it back. Trelawney's got a cool prophecy surprise. What's she doing? Oh my goodness, what's Trelawney doing? And thus, we're in the end game. Final day. Kind of. So, our day starts off with McNair, that guy from that guy. He's a bad guy. He's sharpening his blade because he's finna kill Buckbeak today. Uh-oh is right. Then Hermione, still on her Trelawney rampage, punches Malfoy in the face on her way to Hagrid's hut, where they talk to him for a little bit. They get hit in the head and some pots get broken by some cool special rocks. I wonder how that happened. Then they walk outside. And then guess who's in the building? McNair and the Minister of Magic and Dumbledore. They're here to kill Buckbeak. It's a sad day. I cry every time. Then, next for our day, Scabbers bites Ron's hand. He drops Scabbers. Then he's got to chase after Scabbers. Oh my gosh, go get him. And, what's this? A dog. Jumps out of nowhere. He's taking Ron to his little Whomping Willow lair. And then Harry and Hermione promptly follow after no delay whatsoever. And thus, they're in the awesome set of the Shrieking Shack that looks like this. Isn't this awesome? This set tilts. It's like, it moves. It go like this because that's what the house does, and it's real. Isn't that awesome? That's awesome. So they're in there. Oh my gosh, the dog wasn't a dog. It was an animagus, and Sirius Black is here. Oh my goodness. He's here to kill someone in this room right now. And then, boom, Lupin's here. How'd Lupin get here? Probably that same Whomping Willow path. Probably because he was looking at the Marauders map and made his way over here. Lupin shows up to the Shrieking Shack, and he's all buddy-buddy with the enemy. and now we're mad. What the heck? Lupin, why would you betray us? We trusted you. POV, I'm Hermione. I trusted you! And then Sirius starts to explain why they're teamed up, and it's to fight a dead man. But Snape comes in. What's he gonna do? The OG gang is still bullying Snape, and then they bully him so hard that Harry wants to bully him too, and he does it. Now Snape's incapacitated, and we're on to the explanation. Now we get a quick Peter Pettigrew reveal. Who's Peter Pettigrew? Why is he alive? He's the real one who betrayed Harry's parents. That's right. It wasn't Sirius. It was all a lie. Now we know the truth. And we decide that let's feed him to the Dementors so that they can torture him with the kiss of death rather than just kill him right here. Because it's better that way, says Harry. Now, all these cooks in the kitchen leave the kitchen. They're on their way, and it's time for them to spread out. But before they spread out, Sirius comes up to Harry. He's like, "Hey, bud, do you wanna maybe come live with me?" And Harry's like, "Yes, of course I do. Of course I want to live with you. You're so cool." And now it's time to spread out. First spreading of out. With the distraction from the full moon, Peter Pettigrew does his weird morphing into rat form again and runs away, only to hold baby Valdi another day. Second, that full moon turns Remus Lupin into a werewolf, and he yeets Sirius away and smacks Snape in the face, and then hears a noise, and he gets distracted. What's that noise? And he runs away. Bye, Remus Lupin, werewolf mode. Third, Harry leaves the others behind to go check on Sirius because he cares about him so much now, because he knows him so well. When he goes to find Sirius, he also finds a bunch of Dementors. And what do those Dementors want to do? They want to make out with Sirius. And while they're at it, they'll make out with Harry. As Sirius's soul leaves his body, James Potter comes and saves the day. Look at that stag. It's James Potter. He's coming to save the day. Woo, yeah. And then Harry wakes up, and he's in the hospital. But sadly, when you think the movie's over, you realize Sirius Black is about to be actually kissed. He's about to get killed. We must save the day. How will we save the day? Dumbledore knows. He says a little cheeky line where he's like, "Oh, if only we had more time." 3 turns will do it, Queen. That's what he says to Hermione. And then he leaves the room. And then Hermione's like, "Gang, I'm going to turn this thing 3 times." And Harry's like, "What's going on?" And Ron is like, delusional. And now, in the last 20 minutes of this movie, it's time for a speed run to save not 1, but 2 lives. Let's get into it. First things first. It's time to save Buckbeak's life. We have a confused Harry and a time-turned Hermione. And what they're going to do, they're going to run over to the pumpkins and they're going to throw cool rocks at themselves to get them out of the house, because guess who's coming? The Minister of Magic, Dumbledore, and McNair. And to prevent them from killing Buckbeak, let's steal Buckbeak. With the power of ferrets and loyalty, we get Buckbeak out of there. And also, Dumbledore is literally the GOAT. Like, he literally turns him away. You seeing this? Dumbledore literally knows. He literally knows. He's amazing. That's 1 out of 2 lives saved. Number 2 on our event speed run for the day is let's save us from being killed by a werewolf by going like this. Oh, 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 oh. That's right. That noise from before was Hermione. You weren't ready for that. Now that you've saved your past self, what are you going to do with your current self? Because that werewolf's coming towards you. Oh, that's right. Buckbeak saves the day. Look at him. He's so awesome. Buckbeak just saved the day. You weren't expecting that. You forgot on your rewatch. Boom, Buckbeak saved the day. Event number 3. It's time to save Sirius Black. But James Potter does that. We don't need to do that. Oh, except we do. And Harry had the power the whole time because, just like it says in the book, I knew I could do it because I had already done it before. Literally goated. He's literally goated. You say he's a Mary Sue. He's not. He got powers. He can do that. No one else can do that. Boom. Now, event number 4, last event of the day, Hermione bombardas her way into the jail cell at Hogwarts. I don't know why there's one. It's like the Eagles Stadium. Why is our jail in there? From there, Sirius regretfully turns down his offer to have him live with him because he's still a convict, and he runs away with Buckbeak. They fly away together. They go, bye-bye. How nice. Now that that's all over, let's get back to the hospital room. Oh my gosh, Dumbledore's leaving. And he goes, huh? Like he didn't know. That fool knew. He's amazing. Dumbledore's epic and cool, and Ron is gaslighted. Great film. As this film wraps up, we got to say goodbye to our favorite werewolf, Lupin, but not to our Marauders map. We get to keep that for future use. And we get to say hello to our new Fireball, because remember, the other broom broke earlier. Sirius Black has got a gift for you. It's kind of a Christmas gift. It was a Christmas gift in the book. Late Christmas gift, you know how I do. Boom. The movie ends on a freeze frame. That's a better ending than every other Harry Potter film. Now that I've run through the whole film, hopefully it didn't take too long. I don't know. I think it's time to get to those VFX shots that I was referencing throughout this. Break them down and just show you how cool it is, because I do think that like learning how shots were done is really cool, and I want to show you the speculations of others on how these shots were done, because they are awesome. First, let's start with Aunt Marge. Aunt Marge gets big, so big she becomes a balloon and floats away. Corridor crew did a little breakdown of this and how they think it happened, and like that suit where Marge gets really fat, like that's real. That's a real fat. That really happened. And then they put her on wires, and they actually did it. Not her, of course, stunt double. And then they actually did the wire thing. Like that's all real. All they did was like paint out the wires. It's like it's so real. It's so cool, because that's like a real fat. Like you wouldn't get the curve on her neck, you know? Next, I want to talk about the Dementors and how they were made, because the VFX of that is really cool. So they sat down with Alfonso, the VFX people, and he was like, bruh, let's shoot puppets. Oh, that's right, we're doing puppets. So they did puppets. They saw how the cloth went. They put the puppets underwater. They got inspired. So the VFX that's actually done, like the CG Dementors that they end up with are like based off that, and they move as like, because they don't need time, as Alfonso said, like they're in no rush. They can do what they want, and they move so slowly, and it's so cool, and it's so awesome. Next, I want to talk about the Boggart scene, because it's actually insane. What you think is the cool part is like the actual like Boggart changing shape, but no, it's the shots that go through the mirror. Because Alfonso, when he's directing them, it's literally like just a fake mirror, and what the reflection is a mirrored shot. It's so cool. Like at the very end when he goes to the mirror, look at Harry Potter. Look at him. He's mirrored. His scar's on the other side. His thing's on the other side. They went through the mirror. Everything's mirrored. That's awesome. It's literally so cool. Alfonso Cuarón is to thank for all these like ideas. There's definitely more people, but his vision when he came into these movies, it gave so much life to not only the characters, but the like scenery and the stuff like that. He said he wanted Hogwarts to feel like a character in the movie, and that's why Hogwarts feels different than it did in the first two, because it feels bigger and more real. Even for those shots, he was quoted as saying, I was a little hesitant about CG, so I wanted to do everything old school. I wanted to do mirror tricks, and I wanted to use puppets. Like the puppets that they used in Dementors, the mirror tricks that they used for the Boggarts, and not to mention all the stuff they did for Buckbeak and the Night Bus. The Night Bus, that's a real bus. That whole thing is practical. Like they actually shot and then like sped up the footage of the Night Bus driving, and all those inside shots. The set is on like a gimbal so that they can move it, and all the practical stuff move. Buckbeak, they had to build a creature from scratch basically, because to make a hippogriff like realized, you have to build the bones, and then you got to build the muscles, and then you got to put the skin on it. You can't just make like a bonk animation. The behind the scenes are really cool. I encourage you to watch them, because just to see how Alfonso worked is a great cool thing. Overall, this movie really hits all the marks for me, and it also does objectively, and that's why it is the best one. The movie's just so good. It ranks above all the others for me, and I think it should for you too, because like one, it's a great way to intro, but you're not really into it yet. There's not much cool things happening besides like, oh, we get to see a little bit of Voldemort, but really there's not much into the movie, you know? Two, I think it's a really good movie. I think we really start to get a feel of the world. But we're not quite there. And I think 3 really does get there. Like, we finally get to see every part of this world, and it's not like having to be explained to us. It just is. And it's really cool that way. 4, I feel, is a dip. I know people love 4. Don't get mad at me for saying 4 is not the best one. But it does dip because, like, we have to stop and we have to go to the Triwizard Tournament. It doesn't really feel like the movie is as good as it could be because we're sidetracked to this Triwizard Tournament. The visuals in it are cool, but it doesn't feel cohesive enough to be a good Harry Potter film. But it does have one of the best scenes ever with Cedric, but that doesn't make it better than Prisoner of Azkaban, because Prisoner of Azkaban is a banger all the way through. 5 is a banger. I'll give it to you. I know you hate Umbridge, and that's why you think you hate the film, but you don't hate the film. The film is really good. Come on, Dumbledore's Arby's. It's a great film. 6, it's kind of boring. It's the second David Yates film of the 4 of them, and David Yates drops the ball low-key from the 5th one. And it's got great, like, storytelling, but it's just not as dynamic and cool as 3 is. 7, pretty boring. The part 1 is always boring to the part 2's awesomeness. There's not much captivation, as 7 part 2 has, which is a banger of a film. It's literally so good. For this, I wanted to give my ranking, just so you guys know, of the films. You can see where I lie. You can see where I'm wrong in your eyes and where I'm right objectively. After all this, I really hope that you enjoy Prisoner of Azkaban more, because it is the best movie. It's got everything, even time travel. Like, it's literally so good. Go and watch it and realize how right I am. Thank you. Have a good day. I love you. Thanks for watching. Happy Christmas. This is coming out on Christmas, right? I sure hope it does. I have to edit it.